This is a photograph I shot on a sunny morning in Osaka when I was wandering around and shooting a roll of Kodak Gold 200. And in today's video, I'm taking you with me on this relaxing morning walk through the streets with my camera. Let's go.
I've been trying to break through. I've been dying to be with you.
This little story takes place back in November during my last week in Japan before returning to Austria. In this last week, I was heading down south to Kyushu with my granny to visit her hometown and see a couple other places, but on the way I stopped by in Osaka to meet a couple friends. And so I began my walk in this cute park here. I didn't really have a plan that I was following. The plan, if you will, was to just follow the light wherever it takes me. By the way, here's a warning, I felt especially chatty while writing the commentary and my thoughts on these photos, so be prepared for a video with me talking even more than I usually already do. Hello, and good morning everybody. I am here in Osaka, and I have friends to meet in about 1.5 hours. And so I thought, let's make use of the beautiful sunlight that we have until then and get some shots. As you might know, I often feel like I need a shot or two to get into the swing of things and warm up, and so here I kind of decided to just get over with it and just start with a simple wide shot of the park. Here's the shot, and it's pretty much what I thought it would be, a warm-up shot. Not a fail, I guess, but also nothing outstanding. I like the lighting though, and the runner at the back, but I think I could have actually elevated this photo a lot by simply waiting for someone to come into frame closer to the camera on the left side of the frame. Then, to my left here, I saw some potential. I thought I might be able to get another shot of the park with a clearer subject. This is the result, and we are getting closer to a decent shot, but this one too kind of lacks something interesting, I guess. It's pretty, but I think the scene itself is a bit boring. But hey, that's the process, at least in my experience of photography. Usually, a majority of the photographs I shoot are okay, and only a few stand out as something a bit more special. If you've seen my previous videos, you might remember me talking about something I've been struggling with a little, which is that I find myself focusing too much on the wide scenes and big pictures in a sense, which leads me to neglecting smaller details that are worth capturing. Well, not neglecting, more like missing, as if I were distracted by the pursuit of the bigger photo. Well, on this day, I tried to keep that in the back of my mind, and it was here that I spotted something where I thought, yes, this is it, something small that I shouldn't overlook. Here's the photograph, and I really like it. I'm so happy that I spotted this instead of just walking past it. What intrigued me here was the contrast of geometric and organic shapes. There's a clash here of the tiles on the ground and the fence against the organic and chaotic shape of the bush and its leaves that grow through the fence. I wanted to capture that, and I think aligning the camera in this very straight and parallel way to the lines in frame worked pretty well.
Try to burn me down, but my spirit just refined like a phoenix from me.
By the way, in case you're wondering, on this day I was shooting with my Pentax Kim 1000, which was my go-to film camera I had with me during my time in Japan, and paired with it I had the Pentax 35mm f2 lens. Then here, I nearly walked past my next photo, but as I looked back, I decided to get the shot, and so I tried to find a decent composition. This is the result, and I think this isn't too bad. What caught me here was all the stuff, essentially, that was in front of the pretty blue house. This is something I love in Japan and always miss in Austria. In Japan, there is a much stronger tendency to just have things sort of on display in front of your house, or in front of many buildings. And what I like in this photograph is all the details captured in it. My eye can travel through the scene and pick out all the little things that add life and character to this corner of the street.
No one tells you all always. My heart will
was fond of the light coming from the side that lights up the orange tree at the end of the road. Here is the result, and I think this one is okay, but nothing outstanding. The scene is pretty, and there are a couple elements that I enjoy, such as the bicycles on the right, or the nose of the car peeking out from the left. However, that's kind of it. I feel like the photo is a bit skippable. There's nothing that makes it particularly special. It's just like, here's the scene, and that's it. Which is not a problem, but I think that is why I'm not so intrigued by it. However, I might have found a solution. Here's a cropped version of the photo. It's just a mild crop, however I find that it creates a lot of tension, which seems to be the thing that was lacking in the original. The elements are squeezed into frame a bit, and I relinquished the center framing of the tree, and instead it is now slightly on the left side of the frame. It's really hard to describe something that's just a feeling, but this feels way more interesting now, and I believe it's because of that increased sense of tension. But maybe I'm just dreaming and talking myself into this photo being better. I don't know, let me know what you think.
Must be a kindergarten or something in there.
Just another cute scene with details that I wanted to capture. As I crossed the road here, I spotted that beam of light coming from the next street and how it threw a long shadow of anyone passing through the light, which I thought looked cool. This is what I got, and I think it's again okay, but only okay. I like the split of the frame with the details of the restaurant on the right and the beam of light on the left with a cyclist passing by. However, the composition doesn't feel all too interesting, and so I tried a crop again, and I think this improves the photo by adding a little bit more tension to the composition. I'm beginning to think that maybe I should try shooting with a tighter lens. Anyway, let's move on. Looking back at this footage, I'm a little disappointed that I didn't take a shot of this Coke lorry. It's such a nice pop of colour, I should have just given it a chance.
Hacia la felicidad, como una luz fugaz, un instante que se va, que se va.
I shot this because I like the scene with the open van as the subject. Looking at this now, I'm not so convinced anymore. I do love the lighting in combination with Kodak Gold. The photo definitely has the vibes, but I feel like it misses something. However, this time it's not a crop, I think? Not sure. I feel like this is another one of those episodes in which I'll get a comment telling me I'm too critical.
Es un instante que se va, que se va. Ver el cielo cambiar de color.
Here, I spotted this house with a beautiful, deep blue-coloured wall and some interesting elements. I couldn't resist taking a photo. I like this one a lot. The composition is utterly simple, almost boring, but that's not a problem because what counts in this case, in my opinion at least, are the various elements that fill the frame and their colours. The photo feels like a cute little painting or something someone would make in Animal Crossing with lots of items placed here and there to fill the space. I love how the vending machine is completely integrated in the wall. The potted plants are super cute, and the bicycle is what really gives me those Animal Crossing vibes. It's just so cute somehow. And that orange brick entrance on the left perfectly fills that side of the frame while contrasting the blue wall in colour. The blue wall itself contributes a lot to the colourful harmony here because it lets the little red and orange elements stand out in contrast. Anyway, I'm a fan of this shot. Then, before we continue, I want to take a moment to thank the continued sponsor of my channel, Squarespace. When anyone ever asks me how or where to make a website, I always just send them to Squarespace. It is, in my opinion, such a good service that combines easy and intuitive usage with creative freedom. Over the years, they've created this incredible product that allows me to make a website intuitively without any coding knowledge, while still giving me creative freedom to play around with designs and the character of the website. I myself have been using Squarespace for 5 years now, and it's been great and seriously constantly getting better. I use my website to showcase my projects that are either completed or currently still in progress. However, you can actually use Squarespace for so much more than what I do. You can make a simple blog, but you can even make an entire online shop, site for bookings if you're a freelancer, pretty much anything. You can start off with one of the many templates and then customize the layout and design. Alternatively, you can also use their AI tool, which lets you create a website by basically describing it. But whatever you do, you get so much freedom to just change and customize everything so easily thanks to their drag and drop editing system called Fluid Engine. You can head to squarespace.com for a 14-day free trial, and then when you're ready to launch your website, you can go to squarespace.com/TeoCrawford to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Thank you so much to Squarespace for continuously supporting the channel and my work here. I really appreciate it. This photo is alright, nice lighting, clear subject, but that's kind of it already. A little detail I love though are those plants on the roof of the garage.
You don't have to tell me anything that's new. I just wanna go out and walk with you. I just wanna see your shadow.
This one also isn't too bad, just a slice of urban life in downtown Osaka.
I like to see the shape you're in from time to time. I just wanna see your shadow next to mine. I just wanna see the same things you can see. Understand the meaning on a new degree. Maybe that could happen when you're next to me.
Then here, I was approaching a train station where I needed to board the train anyway, so I decided to stick around here and just shoot a couple more photos in the area before heading off. This one's not bad. I enjoy the framing and the backlight effect on the items inside the tunnel, and luckily I was able to capture someone in frame who adds a bit of life to the photo. I like this one a lot. I can't exactly pinpoint what it is that I enjoy, but overall the atmosphere of this shot is just very pleasing to me. It feels quite nostalgic, which is often the case in Japan because there are a lot of things in Japan that just look like or literally are stuck in the past. But it might also simply be the Toyota in the foreground. The car looks pretty cool and is a neat main subject for the photo. Then at this point I was walking right up to the entrance of the train station and there was a lot going on here. I shot this photo of the action in front of the station. I like it. While there's no clear main subject, my aim in this case was to capture the overall liveliness in this photo, which I find comes across quite well in the photo. Here, I tried to capture all the details of this place because it's so full of stuff. However, I think the shot feels a little aimless. It doesn't quite catch me. cities here are quite fascinating and fun to explore, however tricky to photograph, at least for me. Maybe it's just a bit too much, not sure, but I struggled to find anything specific that I wanted to photograph. This one's not bad though. I like the harsh beam of light that highlights the guy in the centre of the frame.
What are you?
Then I was heading back to the station to catch a train and end the shoot for now. On the way, however, I spotted one more thing.
Summertime, summertime.
This lamp caught my attention because it looks so rough and has some interesting lighting shining onto it. I like this shot, it's a nice detail of this place. And with that, I ended this session. While I didn't walk away with a bunch of great photos, I'm happy to have at least shot a few nice ones, and I had a lot of fun, which in the end is what counts in my opinion. I hope you too had a good time and enjoyed joining me on this one. Before saying goodbye, I would like to say a massive thank you to the lovely people supporting me in my work on Patreon. Thank you so much to each one of you. If you're interested in Lightroom presets, color grading tutorials and stuff like that, you can check out my page via the link in the description. Also, I have a print shop in case that is of interest to you, also in the description. With that said, I hope to see you again soon. Until then, goodbye.